In 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing debuted in theaters, and unlike his classic 1978 thriller Halloween, which was the highest-grossing independent film of all time, it was both a critical failure and a box office flop. Many YouTube personalities have attempted to explain why this film failed, and there are a lot of theories out there. One of the most popular is that E.T. was released around the same time and siphoned off the audience that could have made The Thing a success. And that might make a bit of sense. But to me personally, it doesn't explain why this film didn't resonate with critics. And honestly, to tell you the truth, it's shocking to me that nobody has ever pointed out the most obvious reason why this film failed. But before we get there, we have to take a good look at the film's popular, acclaimed, and one of my favorite directors, John Carpenter. Carpenter was only 30 years old and an under-the-radar director when he wrote and directed Halloween. He even composed the film's iconic score. When it first came out, the film, which cost only $300,000 to make, was panned, but eventually, because of a few good reviews and word of mouth, the thriller that told the story of psychotic killer Michael Myers went on to gross nearly $256 million at the box office. $256 million. The critics compared Carpenter's work to masters such as Alfred Hitchcock and Howard Hawks. Now, being a hot commodity in Hollywood, Carpenter suddenly had the leverage to make any film he wanted, and to attach his name to the titles of said films, above the actual titles of the films themselves, thereby not only making his name itself into a brand or franchise, but staking claim on the films he directed as his own unique and distinct vision. This was wonderful for films such as John Carpenter's The Fog, John Carpenter's Escape from New York, and his adaptation of the Stephen King novel John Carpenter's Christine, although fans of the King novel were up in arms about the title, arguing it should have been titled Stephen King's Christine. I don't agree with that idea at all. I think that for Carpenter to state the vision of the film was his own and different from the work of the novel, which could appropriately be called Stephen King's Christine, makes perfect sense. And here is where we get to the issue and the problem with John Carpenter's The Thing and why it failed with both audiences and critics alike. Carpenter, I can only imagine, in his hubris and his cocaine-riddled brain, high on his successes and likely barbiturates, literally completely abandoned all references to the source material. The Thing, in his version, was a slimy amorphous character, the exact opposite of the Thing in the source material, and the character had no depth. And really, in his version, The Thing appears to be the villain of the movie, which, although The Thing was often cranky or grumpy, didn't make any sense for an origin picture. Also missing from Carpenter's ego-fueled bastardization was any backstory on The Thing. In his version, the ship crashed in the Antarctica and the Thing was frozen in a block of ice. What the fuck? The Thing takes over people's bodies and is somehow inside of a dog? It literally makes zero sense. Carpenter must have been high on LSD, peyote, and PCP while reading the original stories to have thought up such insane art house, film school dropout trash nonsense. As a stand-in for Dr. Doom, he had Kurt Russell as someone named R.J. McCready. No costume, no cape, no mask, and honestly, it feels like he's the film's protagonist rather than the film's villain. Also missing from this ill-conceived mess is Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, or the fact that the Thing has a real human named Ben Grimm. There's no punchline, there's no clobber in time, it's just a creepy, slimy monster attacking people. What in the hell? Carpenter literally erases all references to the Fantastic Four, and, as far as I can tell after going through my collection multiple times, the plot bears literally no resemblance to anything ever published by Marvel. And Marvel and its mighty bullpen must have been aware of what a terrible mess this picture was, because neither Jack Kirby nor Stan Lee's names appear in the credits. To give you my honest opinion, John Carpenter's The Thing makes Ang Lee's The Hulk look like a panel-for-panel, word-for-word faithful adaptation of the 1962 debut issue of The Incredible Hulk #1, also by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. In recent years, John Carpenter's The Thing has developed a bit of a cult following. mostly due to the listless public's growing awareness of the mundane, trite, and monotonous nature of the current Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thanks for watching. Be sure to Hulk smash that subscribe button. See you next time.